the Supreme Court has made a decision that essentially gives the President of the United States immunity for any crimes that they commit, as long as they are considered technically an official act as the United States President. And this obviously makes way for a lot of bad things, because, of course, the president could always break things that we can always immediately describe like as breaking the law. Like if you had a real court case against any president on being like, oh, did you kill somebody? Well, yes, Obama did. Well, yes, Trump did. Okay, yes, like Biden did. Yeah, they all ordered and directly caused the deaths of people. Like you can always cause that, and there's always never like punishment for that. But even in domestic American laws and for things pertaining to domestic American citizens, and even things pertaining to the larger and broader like political America as itself, like the fact that there's just no punishment for that via way of being the president is so insane to me. But I guess Mr. Ben Shapiro here has a different opinion, and we're going to listen to that and see where our opinions differ, and debate in the marketplace of ideas like he loves to.
If there was no inflection point, Joe Biden's going to lose the election. So what they have to do is they have to say the threat now really revved into high gear. The reason they have to do that, of course, is because Joe Biden died physically during a debate. So because Joe Biden died physically during a debate, you can't claim that Donald Trump is such a threat to the Republic that Joe Biden...
Yeah, dude, this just like fucking manufactured like fucking hysteria over what's going on. Like the Supreme Court didn't just rush like 3 fucking decisions all at the same time. Like when have we seen the Supreme Court in general make this many just back-to-back decisions all pertaining to, or actions all pertaining to, like Trump and his presidency? They even recently leaked like an abortion case in Idaho because they're probably just so fucking busy doing more shit in like 2 weeks than the Supreme Court has ever fucking done in their lifetime, because that's how they work. When they need to be fast, they're fast as fuck. When they want to be slow, they'll take years. But it's ridiculous to say that this is fucking like manufactured hysteria and that there's nothing like to be concerned about here. Like literally, when, how, where in the Constitution does it say that the president is a fucking king among peers or people or whatever the fuck it's called? Like I don't even remember the exact quote, and we're gonna maybe get into it later because I want to watch Democracy Now, but at least with this fucking guy, he's not gonna get into the specifics because they're so bad. They're so bad.
According to the current polling data, Donald Trump is now up 4 in Pennsylvania. He is now up in New Hampshire, a state the Republican has not won in 20 years. He is now up 4 in Michigan. Nationally, according to Harvard Harris, he is now up 6 points. Okay, so that means that Joe Biden is losing. So there has to be a new inflection point.
Okay, we get it. I understand that like now we're using the polls because we're the person who doesn't have like the sitting president, so that's kind of the only thing we have to work on. But like, are we gonna forget that like literally the entire last election, the election before that, we were just not trusting polls at all? We're just gonna let it go though, but I feel like just reading off polling data is like, it's kind of like cope. It's kind of like it's literally like fucking a Joe Biden cope. Wait, that's Joe Biden level cope right there. Like, okay. Like that's exactly the shit that Joe Biden was saying. He was literally just like ignoring like everybody in his own constituency, talking about him dropping out, or talking about him not being a strong candidate, or talking about him actually being ironically unelectable, even though he was nominated for the position, especially for his electability because he could work on both sides. I don't know. He literally just kept being like, nah, Jack.
He's now a genie, and if you rub the magic lamp, he will come out. And you'll have the magical powers of Jafar. Ooh, phenomenal cosmic power. Like, this is what they now have to claim the Supreme Court just did. They rubbed the magic lamp of the presidency, and out came big bad Trump, Orange Hitler. Okay, the problem is, the decision doesn't say that.
Orange Hitler, you said it,
they
not me.
They somehow have to convince you that there is now a real danger that Orange Hitler will come forth from the magical electoral lamp. That is the thing that they have to say. So, the Democrats were trying to find some excuse for putting Biden back on the public stage to speak in a way that people would hear him.
That's not an excuse. Okay. Again. He has to immediately like break down the position, break down like the context. He has to give the context of the situation, then break down every single like give his own opinions and like orchestrate and manipulate the situation to make it like way more skewed to his side. But it's like pretty ridiculous for him to keep just saying like this is an excuse. Like, bro, he said he's a king. The Supreme Court just said that the fucking president of the United States is a king. That's not crazy. Like you, of course you'd talk about that. But literally King Biden would of course talk about that. Like, why else wouldn't they? In reality though, unfortunately, I think if Joe Biden ever actually genuinely tried to exploit that, like to do anything like murder Trump or something, he'd never do that. But let's just say, it would immediately be counted as technically an unofficial act, only just because the law itself was ran through the Supreme Court. So it would eventually also, if it was contested, if his crimes were contested, go to the Supreme Court. And of course, Republicans would immediately go and bring that shit to the Supreme Court to be like, no, he's doing it. No. Shut that shit down. We want Trump. No. And he's not gonna. And Biden's not going to take a hard enough stance against the Republican Party to do that because he doesn't even have a strong basis within the Democratic Party anymore, it seems like.
If the question about Joe Biden is, does he have the stamina and mental capacity to be president of the United States, a 4-minute demagogic speech in which he barely appears to be being held up by strings like a marionette. Jill Biden apparently is above him with the actual marionette strings. Sorry, Dr. Joe Biden. She's a doctor. Lady Macbeth, Joe Biden.
It. She's a fucking doctor. Okay, she's achieved more than you ever will in your life. But I genuinely do think, like, I know he's kind of poisoning the waters here, but I do genuinely think that that's like really weak. Like, yeah, if it's actually only 4 minutes, like that's weak as fuck. That looks horrible. What the fuck, dude?
Okay, this is the shtick that Joe Biden was trying last night, and it's pathetic and it's gross and it's stupid. We're gonna break it down piece by piece here. Okay, so.
There's no way Biden said that, all right? This is so much... this is all leading up to the actual just fucking talking about what the video is even about. Like, this is all prep. But, like, dude, there's no way Joe Biden even slightly compared him. Maybe he did compare him to Hitler, but, like, I don't know. I don't even know. Dude, Joe Biden never goes that hard. If he went that hard, I'd love that shit, dude. He never even goes that hard.
Oh.
He's gonna say he's Hitler, but then like for like 1 second under his breath while he's like stuttering or some shit. It's like me standing up to Donald Trump like by saying, "Oh, you're wrong," quietly to myself while walking into the other room, like like, yeah, dude. You got him, bro.
This nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law, not even the President of the United States. With today's Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity, that fundamentally changed for all practical purposes.
Okay, that is not true. That is not true. As we've explained, the Supreme Court did not appoint a magical king. It did not. And by the way, if there's anyone who's ever been in love with executive authority...
He never even said that they did. Dude, and I knew he wasn't going to go that hard either. Like, he never said that they appointed a fucking king. He literally said that, well, one, king was coming from the fucking Supreme Court's decision, all right? That's their word usage, not his. And he said that the fundamental Constitution of America is exactly against the idea of even having a king in any capacity, title or not. Like, fucking, there's a reason why we're not still controlled by those fucking inbred pieces of shit in the islands, because we obviously don't like monarchies. Kings and queens are the head of monarchies.
It's this guy who has signed more executive orders than any president in modern history. It's this guy who tried to use OSHA to cram down a vax mandate on 80 million Americans, who spent the last several years trying to end around the Supreme Court, declaring that even though they have said he is not allowed to magically get rid of student loan debt, he can just do it. This guy, like this guy's going to lecture us about the excesses of executive power? This one? Seriously? Him?
It's not magically getting rid of student loan debt. If it's a fucking American school and a university, they're absolutely adhere to the fucking people that own the soil that they live on, like the federal government. So if they want to make the fucking student debt loan debt go, especially with all the millions of dollars that fucking the U.S. government puts into schooling in the first place, like yes, of course they're going to be able to do that. That doesn't make it just disappear. That's literally just how the government can work. The government can just tell people to do things sometimes. And I'm pretty sure it's not even just that, by the way. I think there's actually like a lot more of like a specific like institutional bureaucracy fucking whatever reason that makes it still fair, because these people, these companies and like universities aren't exactly fucking needing of any of that money versus just what random people, random dudes, random college students. Like that's who you want, that's who you're arguing against right now, that's who your enemy is. And I don't understand how it's gotten like to be such a popular like opinion. Like it's in the Overton window by a long margin. Like literally just constantly being against, like, no, I don't want people to be able to get schooling. Like no, like I don't want people to have healthcare. I don't want people to be healthy. I want them to die. I don't want them to be smart, and I want them to die. And that's a normal opinion in America. It's amazing.
Pistol launcher. It was developed by a team of common sense gun owners who understand the importance of having choices. They engineered the Byrna launcher as a powerful tool for self-defense. I'm about as forbid I have to react. I own 4 pistols, an AR, a shotgun at home. It's kind of somebody's in your house. You don't.
Ben Shapiro has never shot a real life gun in his life, or maybe actually, you know what? Okay, I forget that these guys like always go to like some shooting range with like some millionaire guy who like gives them a gun for them to like shakenly like do and then put down, just like, oh my god, dude, never put me next to that thing again. But like I'm talking about like I don't know, just like really like being out in the back, chilling, getting the fucking rifle, shooting some cans out in the woods, like some real actual American like fucking pastime shit. All right, not none of that fucking weird ass only on YouTube video shooting range shit with like some weapon that was only manufactured and like produced in Russia. Like that shit is not very like homegrown American farmers style like that you think it is, dog. It's really not. It's really fucking not. Dude, same thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene shooting that fucking like what, tank killer at a car. Like what, who has a tank killer? What options do you have for you to have a tank killer? Like what is the point, bro? Bro's going to Ukraine, actually. That's insane. That's crazy.